Welcome to the Reallionaire podcast. I'm your host at Africana Dondada, and today I'm here with my guy.
Yo. Yo, it's your boy Ojo, Olaoluwa Ojo. Feel me? Nanja boy, tell feel me? It's like my fourth episode here, man. I'm excited to be here, man. It's cool.
And even like with Egypt, right? I feel like people study Egypt so much, and they talk about how glorious and all these great things that were accomplished there, but it still fell.
I think Egypt is.
And people don't highlight that enough, I feel.
Yeah, but you gotta understand everything rises and falls. America is gonna fall someday. Maybe probably not our lifetime, but another lifetime. America's gonna fall. Think about it. The Romans fell. They were the top of the world. Literally, most of our education literally came from the Romans. All that stuff.
Do we fall, or or is that just another way of saying rather we self-destruct?
I feel like.
And do you feel like that's human nature?
You know what's so crazy? I won't even say fall. Let's stop our time just passes. Cause it's life. Life always, evolves.
Okay, bro. So, our time could pass, and we pass it on to the next generation. We don't have to destroy all the way to the ground, bro.
But at the end of the day, your time is still passed, no matter if.
Yeah. So I feel like it's self-destruct. When your time passes, it means people look at it as like a bad thing, but to me, that just means that your time passed. You pass that to someone else, and they continue the journey, just like how you were saying with your father and your grandparent, your dad. You just a copy. It's the same version, different version of the same shit. It's like I'm saying, when your time passes, it should be you passing it on. It shouldn't be. And I feel like because people look at it as a negative shit, a lot of times, that's why there's a lot of friction happening even between like younger generations and older generation, because them old niggas might be looking at it as like, damn, niggas talking about my time is past. So it's like they're coming in with a certain energy because of that, when like and then they tell young niggas like, your time is now. And you feeling like, oh, this is my shit. That nigga feeling like, damn, I still got it. This nigga feeling like, shit, it's my shit. Like, I'm entitled to this shit. So now, the likelihood of some type of friction happening is very high.
I feel you.
And that just goes back to how people interpret shit when they hear it, bro.
True. I feel you.
It's like, for example, I feel like nobody's time ever passes if you pass it on to and when you have kids, you passing it on.
Mm-hmm.
And you keep passing it on to them until you no longer exist. Then your time passes.
I feel you.
See what I'm saying? And then that's supposed to continue, generation after generation. So I'm saying with Egypt, or all these generations, all these civilizations in the past that fell, did they self-destruct, and not being able to pass that those information, like that time and everything, knowledge and stuff, to the next generation, that's a form of self-destruction too.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they did. Like I said, the time passed and they fell too. Like Egypt. I think Egypt had one of the most freaking slaves. They built pyramids, did all that.
Yeah, they did a lot.
All that crazy shit.
Right. All right. Let me hit you with this. Right.
Yeah, I'm weak.
Pause.
yo, hold on. Quickly, right before like you hit him. One time, like I'm in like this furniture store, like buying furniture from like this like Arabic guy, right? And he's like, man, some like Egyptian like fellow, like just came by here, and like the guy was black, and I didn't know that people from like Egypt was black, and I'm like, bro.
Egypt in Europe.
But you gotta understand though, the way they portray Egypt is like light skin, all that Cleopatra.
The media, bro. The
stuff.
media create movies.
Right, and I'm like, bro, Egypt is in Africa, bro.
Like, them niggas is black.
Niggas is black, bro.
Them niggas is
like me.
Yeah, there was a time when they got conquered. That's why like Rome, the whole Greek, them niggas, they all that shit they got it from Egypt, and eventually they conquered it. So they tell the time, the stories they tell, right? So they're not technically wrong, right? But this is how they play it. The stories that they tell is based on that time. Most of the time after Egypt was already kind of conquered, or leading towards that time. So around that time, Egypt was already kind of very like for example, Egypt was split in two, right? There's a southern part where a lot of the people there were darker. That's like Sudan and all that shit, right? That was called Old Kemet. And then the shit that most people learn about is New Kemet. So like that's even a whole nother shit. So it's like what they're telling is that time after kind of a lot of times it's been very whitewashed by that time. A lot of people don't came and took over and shit.
I heard stories of like back then, like like the Egyptian like warriors and kings, they trained lions, and like their lions went to war like with them, and like they used to win like wars because their lions like fought their enemies.
Now look at this, right? When a lot of African niggas come to America, what do they say? You be chilling with lions and all that shit. Right? See how they trick niggas' minds? Where it's like something that was like a glorious, like you talking about it in a glorious form. Some people look at it as like,
negative,
just because they don't know, like they don't know better, just because they've been it's like they play with your mind, bro.
Yo,
they play with your mind, bro.
You understand the downfall of people is. Downfall of people is lack of knowledge, lack of ignorance. Downfall of human beings. Downfall of a lot of people in America right now is knowledge.
You just gotta know they're playing with your mind, bro.
Look, like people think all this like presidents like that role is not, how do I say it? It's not what you call it. It's not easy. Okay.
Facts.
They're literally doing the same shit like they did back in Rome, back in the day. Basically, it's just a modernized place. Because think about it,
for real,
America is a conquered land by people that conquered it, and they have that land and they're ruling it for millennials. So it's,
all right, what I was gonna ask him, right? It was okay. You know how you were saying Egypt? Yeah, they talk about all that shit, right? You said two things. You said one, Egypt had all these slaves, especially building the pyramids and all that shit. And then you said a lot of America and shit here is based on Egypt. And what did America have?
Slaves. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, I guess. Oh yeah.
But
I had those slaves.
I say that to say this, right? But a lot of people, as far as like black people, glorify Egypt. But Egypt had a lot of slaves. And they also say America is built based on Egypt. Yeah. But you praise Egypt and you glorify Egypt and you try to claim Egypt, that Egypt was black and they had a lot of slaves. But then America, you on some, is it just because it was happening to you? So it's like that's a whole nother. So that's my question. How a lot of black people try to claim Egypt and glorify Egypt, but Egypt had a lot of slaves in America, but a lot of black people feel some type of way. And I'm not saying nobody shouldn't feel no way about slavery by any means. I'm just asking a question. The same shit happened in America, and a lot of people like demonize America for that, right? But these are the same people that, in the same breath,
but think about
glorify Egypt.
But think about it, Egypt. You don't have, how do I say, pictures and records of shit like that.
That's it. That's the only.
No. I'm just saying though, the reason why America is demonized for slavery is because it's pretty recent. Like civil rights was just 50 years ago. The first woman to go into a segregated school in America, she's 65 years old. She's still alive right now. So the reason that's my opinion why I feel like America is still demonized, and also because they sweep it under the rug.